Evolution of SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants makes his first appearance in the TV show with the same name as one of the main protagonists, voiced by Tom Kenny. Here he appears as an anthropomorphic, good-natured, naive, and enthusiastic sea sponge. He typically wears a white shirt with a red tie, black shoes with white shoelaces, white socks, and brown rectangular pants with a black belt. In the show, he lives in a pineapple house with his pet snail Gary, and is employed as a fry cook at a fast food restaurant called the Krusty Krab. Even though he diligently attends Mrs. Puff's boating school, he has never passed. And throughout the series, he tries his hardest on the exams but still remains an unintentionally reckless boat driver. He is very optimistic and eager toward his job and his friends. His hobbies include catching jellyfish, blowing bubbles, playing with his best friend Patrick, and unintentionally irritating his neighbor Squidward. He also sometimes opposes the main villains of the show Plankton and his computer wife Karen, who own a failing restaurant called the Chum Bucket across the street from the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob makes several appearances in the TV show The Simpsons, voiced by Tom Kenny. In the episode She Used to Be My Girl, after Lisa, needing a god to pray to, tells a newscaster she is praying to Jesus, Buddha, and SpongeBob, the camera shows heaven, where Jesus, Buddha, and crudely drawn SpongeBob are. Buddha asks Jesus, perhaps they should help, and SpongeBob interrupts saying screw her, then laughs insanely while Jesus shakes his head. Then, in the episode The Wife Aquatic, a SpongeBob statue can be seen at an exhibit that reads The Science of SpongeBob at an aquatic museum with Marge and Lisa going by. Also, in the Treehouse of Horror XX, a Frankenstein's monster was dressed in a SpongeBob costume. Next, SpongeBob appears in the 2004 first franchise movie, The SpongeBob SquarePants Movie, again as one of the main characters, voiced by Tom Kenny. In the story, SpongeBob and his best friend, Patrick, set off for Shell City to retrieve King Neptune's crown in order to save Mr. Krabs and stop Plankton from taking over Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob and Patrick are even kidnapped by the Cyclops and placed on a table where a lamp sits. Due to the pressure of the lamp's heat, SpongeBob and Patrick start to shrivel up and eventually pass away. However, the tear they shared beforehand finds its way into a power outlet and activates the ceiling sprinkler system, subsequently reviving them. In the animated TV show Family Guy, SpongeBob makes several cameos throughout the series. In the episode Prick Up Your Ears, a green SpongeBob toy is one of 3 toys Stewie uses as his bodyguards to protect him from the Tooth Fairy. Next, in Road to Rupert, Meg becomes Peter's temporary personal driver due to his license being suspended. And while driving, she plays the camping episode, where SpongeBob and Patrick are seen singing on the player to amuse him. Then, the episode Inside Family Guy features a person in a poorly made SpongeBob costume, taking photos with tourists at the Hollywood Boulevard. Next, SpongeBob makes a few cameo appearances in the sketch animated TV show Robot Chicken. First, in the episode That Hurts Me, a yellow sponge and a blue starfish can be seen gleefully dancing with each other. Next, the episode Tell My Mom features SpongeBob being confused about how Sandy got pregnant when she used a sponge to protect her. Then, in the episode Major League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, SpongeBob uncovers Mr. Krabs' secret formula for Krabby Patties and reveals to the patrons of the Krusty Krab that they are made from crab meat. He also points out to Squidward that the calamari rings he is eating are actually made from squid and informs a customer that her chicken of the sea salad is made with tuna, which causes an outrage among the customers. SpongeBob reappears in the animated TV show Sidekick in the Halloween special Halloweeny, where Wardrobin shows Eric all of the available costumes at his shop, and one of them is Big Yellow Sea Sponge wearing a cowboy hat. Next, SpongeBob makes several cameos in the animated TV show The Cleveland Show, as a recurring plush doll that resembles a banana-shaped version of SpongeBob. In the episode Gone with the Wind, a life-size banana SpongeBob doll can be seen riding the Ferris wheel with Cleveland. SpongeBob makes his next appearance in the TV show Futurama, in the episode Yo Leela Leela, as a robot mascot of Nickelodeon, when Abner Doubledeal says that Leela's show would be bigger than SpongeBob SquarePants. Next, SpongeBob appears in the TV show South Park, in the episodes A Nightmare on FaceTime and Hell on Earth 2006 with a green color scheme. In the animated sketch TV show Mad, SpongeBob appears several times. First, in the episode The Strata Team Gaming's Next Top Princess, he is shown as a Mexican version of himself, named Sponder Roberto SquarePants. Then, in the episode Dances with Wolverine, a Footloose parody Tater Tots Tiaras, he is depicted as SpongeWow and is used by a spoof of Vince Offer to wipe up various spills against his will, including 12 bottles of non-FDA approved hot sauce, which leaves his face burning. SpongeBob makes his following appearance in the TV show Augie and the Cockroaches. First, in Run Olivia Run, one of the spectators is wearing a SpongeBob costume. And in the second, Augie and the Magic Smile, a plush toy of SpongeBob grinning can be seen in the upper left corner of one scene in the joke shop. In the 2019 musical, The SpongeBob Musical Live on Stage, SpongeBob appears portrayed by Ethan Slater. Here, an active underwater volcano called Mount Humongous is about to erupt and destroy SpongeBob's hometown of Bikini Bottom. Eventually, he teams up with his friends Patrick and Sandy to stop the eruption and save his town. SpongeBob reappears next in the franchise movie sequel The SpongeBob Movie Sponge Out of Water, as one of the leading characters, voiced by Tom Kenny. In the story, after a pirate named Burgerbeard steals the secret Krabby Patty formula, using a magical book that makes any text written upon it come true, which caused Bikini Bottom to go into a terrible apocalypse. SpongeBob, his friends, and also Plankton travel to the ocean's surface to confront Burgerbeard and retrieve the formula. Here he turns into a superhero, Invincibubble, who has a muscular body and slightly longer legs, while his head and pants remain the same size. He also wears a blue mask with a wand, which allows him to blow bubbles. In the 2020 computer-animated live-action The SpongeBob Movie Sponge on the Run, SpongeBob appears voiced by Tom Kenny and young SpongeBob is voiced by Antonio Raul Corbo. Here, he and Patrick travel to Atlantic City to save Gary, who has been kidnapped by King Poseidon. SpongeBob appears next in the TV show American Dad in the episode Father's Days, when Stan brings a SpongeBob cake for his family to cheer them up. Next, SpongeBob as the younger version appears in the first spin-off TV show Camp Coral SpongeBob's Under Years. The show is set at a summer sleepaway camp called Camp Coral, located in the kelp forest. Here SpongeBob is a 10-year-old camper who wears a red cap. Other campers include SpongeBob's friends, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward. The gang spends the summer catching jellyfish, building campfires, and swimming in a lake of goo called Lake Yuckymuck. In the anime The SpongeBob SquarePants anime, SpongeBob also appears as the main protagonist, but his anime version is much more serious than the cartoon version. The plot centers around SpongeBob as he tries to save his best friend Squidward Tentacles from the clutches of Sheldon Plankton, who wants to defeat SpongeBob. SpongeBob is shown to manipulate bubbles to help him in battle, and when he needs a boost of power and speed he injects himself with a syringe filled with secret formula. While this makes him more powerful, it has a chance of corrupting SpongeBob with immense darkness, as seen in the bubble-blowing arc. In the animated TV show The Patrick Star Show, focusing on Patrick Star instead, SpongeBob is rarely seen. He has a bit of yellow hair on his head, wears a bow tie, and black and white saddle shoes. In the episode Who's a Big Boy, SpongeBob bumps into his future house as a teenager, while it's still under construction, and already under the water, along with Squidward's house. In the 2024 adventure comedy movie Saving Bikini Bottom The Sandy Cheeks Movie, SpongeBob appears as the main character, also voiced by Tom Kenny. He and Sandy go to Galveston, Texas, after Bikini Bottom was scooped and taken to the Boots Marine Biology Lab.